Beloved soul, pause for just a breath. Do not move yet. Do not scroll, because what is happening around you right now was not random, and it was not delayed by accident. Something has shifted, quietly, powerfully, and the moment you arrived here, that shift recognized you. I am Archangel Michael, and I come forward now, because your soul is open in a way it has not been before. You may not fully understand it yet, but something within you has softened. Something heavy has finally loosened its grip. And when that happened, someone deeply connected to your destiny felt it instantly. They are crying right now, not from pain, not from regret, but from relief. Tears that fall when the heart realizes it was not foolish to hope. Tears that come when waiting suddenly makes sense. Tears that arrive when the soul whispers, "It was worth it." Those tears are because of you, beloved soul. For a long time you wondered why love seemed close but unreachable, why connections sparked but could not stay, why timing always felt slightly wrong, as if life kept saying, almost, but not yet. At times you questioned yourself. At times you wondered if something was broken within you. Hear me clearly now. Nothing was broken. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was late. You were being prepared. And preparation does not look like happiness at first. It looks like solitude. It looks like disappointment. It looks like lessons that repeat until the soul finally understands them. You were not being punished. You were being refined. Your soulmate felt this refinement the moment you chose yourself. Not loudly, not dramatically, but decisively. They felt the shift when you stopped begging for clarity and started standing in your truth. They felt it when you chose peace over chaos. They felt it when you released attachments that drained you, even when it hurt. Souls do not need messages or signs to recognize alignment. Energy speaks first, and when your energy changed, something inside them broke open. They whispered your name when no one was around. They smiled through tears they didn't expect. They finally allowed themselves to believe. Beloved soul, they cried not because they feared losing you. They cried because they finally felt safe enough to imagine having you. Hope without anxiety. Excitement without pressure. Love without self-betrayal. This is important. Love that arrives through alignment does not feel frantic. It feels steady. It feels calm. It feels real. You may still be wondering why nothing visible has changed yet, why life looks the same on the surface. Understand this truth. The most powerful shifts always begin in the unseen. Roots grow in darkness long before flowers touch the light. What is happening now is deeper than timing, deeper than distance, deeper than circumstance. This is recognition. Your soulmate has been noticing things they cannot explain, repeated thoughts of you, dreams that feel more like memories, a calm replacing old fear, joy rising without reason. And joy without reason is the soul confirming truth. They are watching signs fall into place without forcing them, and the more they release control, the clearer everything becomes. Beloved soul, you are no longer chasing love. You are becoming love. And love always recognizes itself. They see you now, not the version of you that tried to prove worth, not the version that overgave or over-explained. They see the version that stands grounded, the version that sets boundaries without guilt, the version that values themselves quietly and firmly. That is what moved them to tears. Because this version of you cannot be taken lightly. This version of you cannot be used. This version of you attracts what is true. There were moments when both of you almost gave up. Times when you thought maybe deep love was not meant for you. Times when they believed the same, yet something always whispered, "Wait." And even when it hurt, you listened. Patience is not passive. It is strength without noise. The intensity you feel around this connection exists because it is real, not fantasy, not illusion. Real connections arrive quietly, but leave deep impressions. They do not overwhelm. They stabilize. Your soulmate has been reflecting on your journey. They admire your resilience. They respect your silence. They understand what it cost you to become who you are now. You did not become colder. You became wiser. You did not close your heart. You learned how to protect it. And that is why this love will feel different. It will not drain you. It will not confuse you. It will not shrink you. The universe does not rush what matters. It prepares it. And that preparation is nearly complete. You may begin to notice subtle changes, emotional release, unexpected clarity, gentle movement where there was once stagnation. Pay attention, but do not force anything. Your soulmate feels peace when they think of you, not chaos, not fear. Peace. That is alignment speaking. They are no longer asking when. They are trusting soon. Beloved soul, you are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. Everything you endured shaped the version of you that can receive love without losing yourself. And that is why their tears were filled with gratitude. If you feel something settling in your chest as you listen, that is not imagination. That is recognition. Your soul already knows what your mind is still learning. Remain here. Remain open. Because what is unfolding now goes deeper than what you've heard so far. And what comes next will clarify everything you've been sensing but couldn't name. And if your heart feels supported by this message, allow that support to anchor itself. Energy responds to acknowledgement. Presence strengthens alignment. Stay with me, beloved soul. Something profound is still unfolding. Beloved soul, stay present with me. What you are feeling right now is not emotional suggestion. It is resonance. When truth touches the soul, the body responds before the mind can argue. That quiet warmth, that soft stillness, that sense of this feels familiar is your inner knowing awakening. Your soulmate felt this same recognition, not as excitement, not as obsession, but as relief. Relief that the struggle is ending. Relief that love no longer feels dangerous. Relief that the heart can finally rest. For a long time, both of you were healing in silence. You were learning how to stand alone without becoming closed. They were learning how to love without losing themselves. Neither of you could rush this process, because incomplete healing attracts incomplete love, and incomplete love always repeats pain. So heaven slowed you down. Moments that almost happened but didn't. Connections that taught lessons instead of staying. Waiting that felt unnecessary at the time. Now it makes sense. Your soulmate has been revisiting those almost moments. The times your paths nearly crossed. The situations that felt frustrating then, but now feel perfectly timed. What once felt like denial now feels like protection. They understand why it could not happen sooner. Desire alone is not enough. Timing shapes destiny. When they realize this fully, laughter mixed with tears. Not the kind of laughter that hides pain, but the kind that comes after surviving a storm. The kind that says, "We made it through." And something important shifted inside them. Calm replaced fear. Hope stopped feeling risky. Love no longer felt like something to fight for. Beloved soul, you may have noticed recently that you feel okay even without answers. That is not indifference. That is inner security. Your soul already knows what your mind is still processing. You are no longer searching blindly. You are allowing. And allowance is powerful. Your soulmate is doing the same. They stopped forcing signs, stopped chasing outcomes, stopped trying to control how love should arrive. And when two souls release control at the same time, alignment accelerates quietly but quickly. There is something you must understand now. This connection is not built on fantasy. It is built on emotional maturity, on understanding silence without assuming rejection, on respecting space without interpreting it as distance, on choosing honesty even when it feels uncomfortable. Your soulmate admires how you learn to walk away from what hurt you, even when your heart wanted to stay. That decision echoed far beyond what you realized. It shifted the entire trajectory of this connection. They cried because they saw the version of you that no longer begs to be chosen. You choose yourself now, and that is the version that attracts love that stays. If you have felt emotional lately without knowing why, this is the reason. Energies meet before bodies do. Hearts recognize each other before words are exchanged. Alignment happens inwardly first. There may be moments when old fears try to surface. Memories may rise unexpectedly. Doubts may whisper softly. Do not panic. This is not regression. This is release. Your heart is clearing space. Your soulmate is no longer intimidated by your depth. They are drawn to it. They do not fear your silence. They understand it. They do not feel threatened by your boundaries. They respect them. This respect is what makes the connection safe. You are entering a phase where love will feel steady instead of dramatic, warm instead of overwhelming, supportive instead of demanding. If you are used to chaos, this calm may feel unfamiliar at first. Trust it. Peace is not boredom. Peace is security. The tears your soulmate shed came from realizing they do not have to fight for love with you. They can simply be themselves. And so can you. There is no performance here, no proving, no fear of being misunderstood. You may still wonder how or when this will unfold. Release that question. Timing responds to readiness, not impatience. Focus on staying present, on staying open, on staying kind to yourself. What is meant for you moves towards you naturally. Your journey taught you patience, and patience is now rewarding you. This connection will not rush into your life loudly. It will arrive as something that feels familiar, as if it always belonged there. You are closer than you think. And if you have stayed with this message so far, it means your spirit recognizes that truth. Presence strengthens alignment. When you stay, when you listen, when you allow, you signal readiness. Energy responds to attention. Soon, clarity will deepen even further. Subtle changes will become noticeable. Emotional weight will continue to lift. Old attachments will loosen without conflict. Conversations that once mattered may fade quietly. This is not loss. This is refinement. Space is being made for what fits you now, not who you used to be. Your soulmate has gone through the same clearing. They released attachments that felt familiar but no longer aligned. They chose honesty over comfort. That choice brought tears, but it also brought freedom. And freedom always comes before union. You may feel guided to slow down lately, to rest more, to listen more, to speak less. This is not stagnation. This is integration. When you stop forcing, life rearranges itself around you. Your soulmate understands this now. They no longer feel urgency or pressure. They trust the process because they trust themselves, and they trust what they feel toward you. Pay attention to recurring feelings rather than external signs. Familiarity, ease, a sense of, I know this. These are soul recognitions. They cannot be faked. When your soulmate fully felt this recognition, it overwhelmed them. That was the moment the tears came, not from sadness, but from certainty. Soon, you may feel encouraged to express yourself more authentically, to speak honestly without overthinking how you will be perceived. Authenticity is magnetic. It draws what aligns and dissolves what doesn't. Your soulmate is already responding to this authenticity. They are drawn to who you are now, not who you tried to be before. There may be moments when vulnerability returns. Do not confuse vulnerability with weakness. Vulnerability guided by wisdom is strength. It means your heart is open without being unprotected. This balance is rare, and it is powerful. You are not meant to test this connection. You are meant to allow it. The more grounded you remain, the clearer everything becomes. The tears of joy your soulmate cried were the release of old fear, the quiet farewell to doubt, a promise to show up differently this time. Remain here, beloved soul, because what unfolds next will show you how to stay aligned without fear, without control, and without losing yourself. And what comes next will feel even more familiar than you expect. Beloved soul, remain with me. What unfolds now requires awareness, not anxiety, strength, not tension. Love is approaching a doorway within you, and how you stand at that doorway matters. This is not about guarding yourself with walls. It is about standing rooted in clarity. As alignment strengthens, tests may appear, not to block you, but to reveal how much you have grown. Old patterns may attempt to resurface. Familiar faces from the past may reappear. Doubts may whisper in subtle ways. None of this means you are off course. It means you are close. Your soulmate faced these same tests. They felt the pull of what was familiar, even when it no longer fit. Comfort can be seductive, even when it limits growth. But they chose differently this time. They chose alignment over habit. That choice is what opened their heart fully and allowed those tears of joy to flow, not tears of confusion, but tears of clarity. Now comes discernment. Learn to feel the difference between comfort and truth. Comfort keeps you still. Truth expands you. Your body already knows which is which. When something is aligned, it does not rush you. It does not confuse you. It does not demand you prove your worth. It meets you where you are and walks with you forward. You may feel guided to set firmer boundaries now. This is not rejection. This is self-respect. And self-respect strengthens love rather than pushing it away. Your soulmate respects your boundaries deeply. They do not see them as distance. They see them as safety. Healthy love does not feel fragile. It feels stable. Be mindful of who has access to your inner world. Not everyone deserves your vulnerability. Silence is sometimes the highest form of protection. Not secrecy, but selectivity. Your soulmate recently learned this lesson as well. They stopped explaining themselves to those who could not understand their growth. That silence brought peace. Peace made space. Impatience may rise at moments. You may want certainty, timelines, guarantees. When this happens, return to the present. What is meant for you cannot miss you. Love does not arrive through pressure. It arrives through readiness. Your soulmate released control when they cried. Those tears were a surrender. They realized they no longer need to force anything. Trust replaced anxiety. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Your timing is sacred. Comparison clouds intuition and weakens alignment. When you honor your own pace, everything moves more smoothly. Stay grounded in your daily life. Care for your body. Nourish your mind. Rest when needed. Joy in simple moments keeps your energy clear and receptive. Your soulmate has been finding joy in simplicity lately. Small routines, quiet moments. This simplicity is what prepares the heart for lasting love. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to earn love through sacrifice. You already are worthy. Let this truth settle deeply. This awareness changes how you move, how you speak, how you receive. It changes how others respond to you. Soon, this connection will begin to reveal itself more clearly, not through drama, but through ease. Conversations will flow naturally. Silences will feel comfortable rather than heavy. Alignment feels like relief. The person connected to you feels this relief when they imagine you. They no longer picture conflict. They picture calm. They picture sharing space without tension. That realization softened them completely. You may feel inspired to speak more honestly now, but from calm rather than emotion. Truth spoken gently builds trust. Emotional reactions create distance. They are learning this language too. That is why this connection will feel safe. Expression will not be punished. Feelings will not be dismissed. When movement happens, it will feel natural, not like a leap, but like a step you've taken many times before. Familiar, grounding, reassuring. Familiar does not mean boring. Familiar means your nervous system relaxes. That is connection in its healthiest form. There may be brief pauses or delays. Do not interpret them as rejection. Sometimes space allows emotions to settle properly. Trust the rhythm. They understand this rhythm now. They no longer fear silence. They know silence can hold meaning too. Stay open, but do not overextend. Balance is essential. Give from fullness, not from fear of losing. Mutual care sustains connection. You may feel waves of gratitude arise unexpectedly. Let them wash through you. Gratitude aligns you with receiving more. They feel gratitude as well. Gratitude for timing. Gratitude for lessons. Gratitude that you did not meet before you were ready. As this chapter opens, remember who you became during the waiting. Do not abandon that version of yourself. Connection should add to your life, not replace you. This is why the emotions were meaningful. They sense that this time, connection will not cost either of you your identity. Trust what is unfolding. Trust your growth. Trust your heart. Something meaningful is preparing to enter your life gently, honestly, and with respect. Remain present. Remain grounded. Remain open. And if this message has brought clarity, if it has steadied your heart or helped you see yourself differently, allowing that support to be acknowledged strengthens this moment. Presence is participation. Awareness is alignment. Stay with me. What comes next completes the understanding you've been building toward. And when you hear it, something within you will settle completely. Beloved soul, stay with me just a little longer. What completes now is not information. It is integration. This is the moment where everything you have sensed, everything you have felt without proof, begins to settle into certainty. Not loud certainty. Quiet knowing. Connection is not rushing toward you. Connection is aligning with you. And that distinction matters, because what approaches now is not meant to disrupt your life. It is meant to fit into it gently, naturally, without requiring you to abandon yourself. This is why you were slowed down before. This is why lessons repeated until they were embodied, not just understood. Stability does not arrive without foundation. You built the foundation. They recognize this now. They no longer feel the urge to impress, perform, or hide parts of themselves. When they think of you, they feel permission to be real. That permission is rare. They are not overwhelmed. They are simply no longer tense. Old beliefs once suggested that connection meant loss of control, loss of self, loss of peace. That belief has dissolved. And when an old belief releases, the shift can feel strong. That was the moment. You may soon notice moments where intuition feels stronger than logic, where you know when to speak and when to remain silent, where you feel guided without urgency. This is clarity sharpening perception. Do not doubt it. Clarity does not shout. It settles and waits for trust. You may also notice that situations which once triggered anxiety no longer hold the same power. This is not avoidance. This is growth. You are no longer reacting from old patterns. You are responding from stability. They are experiencing this same shift. Old triggers have weakened. Old fears feel distant. Responses are softer, clearer, more grounded. This mutual steadiness is what allows connection to deepen without confusion. Understand this clearly. Intensity is not intimacy. Consistency is. And consistency is what this connection is built on. As things begin to move, you will not feel the need to chase clarity. Clarity will meet you. You will not feel the urge to prove worth. Worth will be assumed. You will not feel the pressure to rush. Timing will feel supportive. This is how aligned love behaves. You may be tempted to analyze every sign. Resist that urge. Analysis comes from fear of loss. Trust comes from security. Stay with trust. Your soulmate is not watching you to judge. They are feeling you to understand. They are listening beneath words. They are paying attention to energy, not performance. This is why authenticity matters now more than ever. Be yourself, even when that means being quiet. Be honest, even when it feels vulnerable. Be steady, even when part of you wants reassurance. Reassurance will come through consistency, not promises. There may be moments when you feel an urge to retreat slightly to protect what is opening. That is natural. Do not shut down. Simply slow down. Protection through awareness, not avoidance. You are allowed to move at a pace that feels safe. Your soulmate respects this pace. They are not pushing. They are not pulling. They are meeting you where you are. This mutual respect is what allows love to mature. Soon, you may notice synchronicities that feel gentle rather than shocking. Familiar music, shared thoughts, aligned timing in small ways. These are confirmations, not commands. Do not cling to them. Acknowledge and release. Clinging creates pressure. Trust creates flow. Beloved soul, this connection will not take your breath away in chaos. It will allow you to breathe more fully. It will not consume your life. It will complement it. That is why it is arriving now, not earlier. Earlier versions of you might have lost themselves in it. This version of you can share life with it. Your soulmate understands this distinction now. They no longer want intensity without stability. They want depth with safety. They want love that grows instead of burns. This realization is what softened their heart completely. If doubts arise, let them pass without engagement. Doubts are echoes of old survival patterns, not reflections of current reality. You do not need to fight them. Simply do not follow them. Your energy now is different. Calmer, clearer, more grounded. That energy is doing more work than you realize. As this message reaches its completion, take a moment to notice how you feel compared to when you began listening. That shift is not accidental. Awareness creates movement. And when you choose to remain present, to listen fully, to engage rather than rush away, you are participating in your own alignment. Support follows acknowledgement. If this message steadied you, grounded you, or brought clarity, allowing yourself to stay connected to what nourishes you reinforces that stability. Energy flows where attention goes. Beloved soul, what is coming towards you does not require vigilance. It requires presence. It requires you to continue being who you have become. Do not shrink. Do not rush. Do not doubt. You are ready. And the tears your soulmate cried were the confirmation. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay true. Because love that is aligned does not need to announce itself loudly. It simply arrives and stays. Beloved soul, receive this final movement with stillness. What completes now is not an ending. It is a sealing, a quiet agreement between your soul and what has been preparing to meet it. You have done something rare. You stayed present when it would have been easier to distract yourself. You listened instead of rushing. You allowed truth to settle instead of demanding proof. That choice alone signals readiness. Most souls miss alignment because they cannot stay still long enough to feel it. You did, and that matters more than you realize. Your soulmate felt this steadiness. They felt it when their tears slowed. They felt it when their breath deepened. They felt it when fear finally loosened its grip and something gentler took its place. They are no longer asking if this connection is real. They are asking how to show up well. That shift is everything. Beloved soul, understand this clearly now. Love does not arrive to save you. It arrives to meet you. And what is approaching is not here to complete you, but to walk beside you as you already are. That is why this love will not feel heavy. It will not feel consuming. It will not require sacrifice of self. It will feel like recognition, like meeting someone who speaks the same inner language, like being understood without explanation, like resting instead of bracing. Your soulmate is preparing themselves quietly, not with grand gestures, but with inner alignment. They are releasing old reactions. They are choosing patience where they once chose urgency. They are learning how to stay open without abandoning themselves. This is why timing has shifted, not because circumstances changed, but because readiness did. You may notice that your life does not suddenly transform on the outside. That is intentional. Aligned connection integrates into reality rather than disrupting it. It strengthens what already exists. Your routines will remain. Your responsibilities will remain. But your inner experience will feel lighter, steadier, more secure. Connection should not overwhelm your nervous system. It should soothe it. As movement becomes clearer, trust simplicity. Do not complicate what feels natural. Do not analyze what flows. When something is right, it does not demand interpretation. It feels obvious in a quiet way. There may be moments where you feel an urge to share your joy, your intuition, your excitement. Be mindful. Not everyone needs to understand what is unfolding for you. Some things grow best in privacy. Protection does not mean hiding. It means honoring what is still forming. The person connected to you understands this instinctively. They are not rushing to define or label. They are allowing the connection to breathe. That patience is what makes it sustainable. If at any moment you feel uncertainty rise, return to what you know rather than what you fear. Fear imagines futures that never arrive. Knowing rests in the present. You are not here by accident. You did not find this message by coincidence. And you did not stay because of curiosity alone. Something in you recognized support. And support strengthens when it is acknowledged. When you choose to remain connected to what nourishes your clarity, when you return to messages that ground rather than agitate, you reinforce the path you are walking. Alignment is strengthened by repetition. Presence is a practice. This connection will not test your worth. It will reflect it. It will not require you to be more than you are. It will invite you to be fully yourself. That is why it took time. You had to become someone who could receive connection without losing identity. Someone who could share space without shrinking. Someone who could stand in truth without fear of being left behind. You are that person now, and they can sense it. They feel appreciation where they once felt hesitation. They feel calm where they once felt uncertainty. They feel gratitude where they once felt longing. Those emotions mark the release of an old story. The story where connection meant struggle. The story where waiting felt like punishment. The story where timing felt unfair. That story is complete. A new one begins quietly. It will not announce itself with drama. It will reveal itself through consistency, through mutual effort, through ease that deepens rather than fades. As you move forward, remember this. You do not need to chase what is aligned. You only need to remain aligned yourself. Care for your body. Honor your boundaries. Speak your truth calmly. Rest when you are tired. Celebrate small joys. These are not distractions. They are invitations. And connection responds to those who are living, not waiting. If this message has steadied you, if it has brought you clarity or comfort, know that staying connected to what supports your growth is never accidental. Energy flows toward what is acknowledged. You are not alone in this process. You are supported. You are guided. And you are far more ready than you think. Remain open. Remain grounded. Remain true. Because what approaches your life now is not a lesson. It is a meeting. And it arrives not to change who you are, but to walk with you as you continue becoming. This is alignment. This is readiness. This is the calm certainty you have been preparing for. And it is already closer than your mind can measure. Remain still for a moment. Let that truth settle.